I remember when I was a baby, I would go out every day and play outside.
Granddad, I can't play on the street. There's like a million cars out there.
I would just go outside and play with the cars.
Mom, Granddad's going strange again. She said this would happen.
Uh-oh.
What?
Accident.
Oh.
I would prefer it if you didn't tell anyone about my situation here.
So disgusting. Would you like a towel or something for the...
Actually, Timmy, a new pair of pants would be better.
Every time I ask you a question, write your answer in your notes. Then, at the end of the video, write your notes in the comments. First, of course, you probably know this one. This is when you make softer, more polite questions or requests. If I am at a pancake restaurant and the waiter wants to offer me more pancakes, what's his question? Do you want more pancakes? A waiter should be polite, formal, right? So he won't say, do you want? No. Would you like more pancakes? Yes, please, all of them. So with offers or requests, changing want to would like, it just sounds softer, more polite, more mwah. Actually, we can make this more polite. Let's add the word mind. Give me a lift to the station. To give someone a lift, that means to take someone in your car, drive them to a place. In this case, she wants a lift to the train station. Usually, if you have a request, you want to be polite. So, she should change this to would and the word mind. It sounds much more polite. Would you mind give me a lift? Okay, there is one problem here. With this expression, would you mind? You need to change that verb to an ing, an ing form. Would you mind giving me a lift? That sounds much better, much more polite. If he wants to say, yes, that's okay, he can reply, no, I don't mind. So again, do you mind or would you mind? It just means, is it a problem? So his answer, no, it's not a problem. No, I don't mind. Your first question, think of a polite request that you want to ask someone. Use the word would in your request. Remember, write all your answers in your notes. Then at the end of the video, write those notes in the comments and I'll reply. Let's meditate. Are you ready? How else can we use would? What does it mean? Would? It's the past of will. That's easy. Okay, so yes, but how does that work? Explain to me. Okay, so tomorrow I will go out, but today I would stay at home. No, see, no high five for you. That's not correct. Okay, as a past of will, let me explain. Okay, so when you're a child, you have ideas about when you're grown up, what are you going to do? So this kid is saying, when I grow up, I will be an astronaut. Okay, so let's go to the future. Okay, now in the future, this is him as an adult. And he wants to say, from a baby, I knew this was my future. We talked about the future here, but now he's referencing the past about the future, if that makes sense. So we change the future to a past. How do we do that? We change will to would. So true story for me, when I was a child, I thought that I would be a magician. To be honest, I'm kind of disappointed that I'm not a magician. So question 2 for your notes. When you were a child, what did you think that you would do as a grown-up? Another common way we use this is very British, talking about the weather. So, you look outside your window, you see a few clouds, some good sun. Okay, I feel confident, I feel optimistic. I think it'll be sunny today. You think. But this is England. So, you decide to wear shorts and a t-shirt. But you forgot, you live in England and it rains all the time. So now you're wet and you're cold and very disappointed. Why? Because of a past thought. So how can we express that? I thought it would be sunny today. Again, it's a past thought about the future. So would is not simply the past of will. No. Think of it this way. Would, it's the future from the past. Another way might be reported speech. There's a party tonight, and you're wondering, oh, who is going to bring the beer? And he remembers that he had a conversation with his friend Becky. She said this. I'll bring the beer, but remember, this is from the past, so how does he report that speech? Oh yeah, Becky said she would bring the beer, or contract it. She said she'd bring the beer. So again, in reported speech, you're bringing the future from the past. In that way, it's okay to use would as a past of will. Because as you know, in reported speech, the verbs, they go back one form, or one back in history. Another way you can use would as a past of will is in the negative. You can use it to say that something or someone refused to do something. For example, in the morning, you are trying to go to work. So you get in your car, but this happens. Nothing. The car won't start. It refuses to start. So, when you finally arrive at work, you can tell your boss, I'm sorry, I'm late, I know, I'm sorry. The car wouldn't start. I had to run. So we changed the car won't start, now it refuses to start, to a past tense. Before, the car wouldn't start. You can use this for other machines, like, I think my laptop's broken, it won't turn on. But yeah, it means refuse to do something, refuse to work, usually. But let's use a human example. You want to go to the cinema with your friend, but your friend doesn't want to go. So she goes to the cinema alone. And she wants to say, my friend refused to come with me. Let's change this. My friend wouldn't, now do we use to or no? What do you think? This is a modal verb, no to after this. My friend wouldn't come with me. It's the worst friends ever. So, question 3? I think 3. I've already lost count. The next question. If I ask my friend to send me a photo of her new puppy, and she says, yeah, I'll do it later. What did she say? Write it in reported speech. The next question. When was the last time that your friend refused to join you for an event or to something? What happened? Why? Remember to use wouldn't in your answer. Okay, next, we can use would to talk about hypothetical or unreal events or situations. This is also known as the second conditional. You don't need to remember that, but that's the name of this grammar. I made a whole video about this grammar. You can watch it by clicking here. But basically, it just means you're talking about a hypothetical situation. It's not real, it's imaginary. It's this one. You imagine a different situation for right now or the future. You use would in this way. If I had lots of money, I would travel. An imaginary situation. That verb is past. If I had. You mean present, but the verb is past. If I had lots of money, I would travel. Another example. Probably you are not in England right now, but if you were in England right now, you would eat English food, right? Because English food is the best. I'm kidding. In England, we don't eat English food. It's disgusting. We eat your food. But again, if you want a more complete explanation of the second conditional of this grammar form, you can click here to watch that video. Or if you feel confident, in your notes, here's the next question. If you met your favorite person, your favorite celebrity, who would you meet? What would you say? What would you do? Let me know. Now also, that grammar form is very useful when giving advice or giving recommendations. An example. She has to break up with her boyfriend today, and she needs advice. She needs some suggestions, some recommendations about how to do it. I have to break up with John today. Should I do it by email? Well, her friend can offer advice, can offer recommendations using would, using that grammar form. I'd do it face to face. It removes the if I were you sentence. So it sounds like and it feels like you should blah blah blah, but what she says is I would blah blah blah. Also, side note, really? If you have to break up with someone, how would you do it? Like, people always say, like, break up with someone face to face. No. If someone broke up with me, just be like, I don't love you anymore, bye! The next question is, your friend has to break up with someone. What would you do? Give them advice, give them recommendations. Now that is for present unreal situations, but what about past unreal situations? That's called the third conditional. And again, I have a whole video explaining it. You can click here to watch that. But the short explanation is this. Okay, today, you went to school, you went to work, but let's imagine that you didn't go to work or school. Let's imagine that you did something else. What did you do? So the correct form of that would be, if you hadn't gone to school or work, what would you have done? Now, don't worry. Many people will need more of an explanation than just this, and that's fine. Click here to watch a full explanation, a full video all about this grammar form. But again, if that is enough for you, let's move on. And that is your next question. If you hadn't gone to school, if you hadn't gone to work today, what would you have done? Would you have gone shopping? Would you have stayed in bed all day? I would have. Now remember, like I said before, you can give advice, you can give recommendations. With that second conditional, it's the same with a third conditional, but about past events. It's not helpful, and really, you're just telling that person, oh, you made a mistake? Yeah, see, if I were you, I never make mistakes. I'm better than you. Yeah, kind of annoying, but you might hear it and you might want to use it. I mean, for example, he missed his flight because he slept too long. He overslept. And his very unhelpful friend will say, oh, that sucks. I wouldn't have slept so late. Yeah, cheers. You're brilliant and I'm stupid. That doesn't help me. Now, everyone has a friend who has had this situation. Like, everyone. This happens. One of them cheats on the other one, and they're like, yeah, he cheated on me, but we stay together. But another person in that friend group will always say, I would have ended it. In the friend group, everyone talks about what they would have done in that situation. So your next question is this: what would you have done in that situation if your boyfriend or girlfriend had cheated on you? We can also use would to talk about past behaviors, past habits. Like used to? Yes, like used to. Read this. When I was a kid, I used to go out every day. I used to see friends, we used to play games, also I used to be fat. Okay, fine. Used to. It talks about repeated past actions and past states, right? That's used to. The word would can replace used to when we talk about repeated past actions, past behaviors. So we can change some of these. This is a repeated action, right? Every day. That's good, and it's past. Great. So when I was a kid, I would go out every day. That's perfect. The meaning is the same, the feeling is the same. Great. Let's move on. I used to see friends. Same thing. We can change that. I would see friends, and again, we would play games. I can contract these, to be honest. When I was a kid, I'd go out every day. I'd see friends, we'd play games. That's good, that sounds natural. But how about this one? I used to be fat. Would is not for past states. No. Used to is okay, but not would. Would is for repeated actions or past behaviors. So for this one, I can't use would. I would be fat. No, that doesn't work. So we will leave that. Now it sounds like this. When I was a kid, I'd go out every day. I'd see friends and we'd play games. Also, I used to be fat. Okay, those ideas, they're not connected, but you get the idea. The next question for your notes is this. Tell me how your life used to be. Maybe when you were a child, when you were younger, when you lived in a different country, a different city, maybe when you had a different job. How was your life different then to now? Use the words used to and would. Okay, finally. Going back to that whole politeness thing, and you know that would is the word we use for hypothetical or unreal situations. Well, that is why would makes a question a bit more polite or a bit softer, because it's less direct. It adds distance with what you're requesting or what you're offering. With would, it doesn't sound immediate. It doesn't sound definite. Think about this. Do you want to go to the cinema tonight? This is a real invitation. Let's go to the cinema. This is a real invitation. It's really going to happen. But what about if you asked with would? Would you want to go to the cinema tonight? It adds a level of distance to your question. Maybe we could go, it's not definite. It's just a possibility. I'm not definitely going, I'm just thinking of going. But if I was going, would you want to go? It's not so direct as this type of question. So try this type of question with would. The next time you want to test someone's feelings about a possible situation, about a hypothetical, particularly if you want to suggest it, but you're not sure how they feel about it. So yes, there are lots of different ways that we use would, and I hope that clarifies many of the ways. The answers that you wrote in your notes, put them in the comments. I'll correct you, I'll reply to you. Also, if you like this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get a notification when I upload next. Also, if you want extra English practice with this and many other lessons, you can join this channel as a member or join my Patreon page. And if you have any requests for future lessons, let me know, and I'll see you in the next lesson.